Hey, good day. This is my home renovation. I am Christian. On today's video, we're going to talk about countertop. Before going forward in the video, few explanation. When we started to think about the kitchen, we all started to think about what type of countertop we wanted. So we really wanted to have a granite countertop. Unfortunately, granite countertop was very expensive, so I had to choose between countertop or wall oven. We choose to spend the money on a wall oven, so now we need figure out what to do with the countertop. My wife did not want it to have any concrete countertop for the same reason I do is ugly. To me, it's just gray slab doesn't look pretty to me. But we still wanted to do something look a little bit rustic and something we can last a couple of years before we can actually afford to buy a granite counter. I'm going to give you more detail in the video, but what I done is I made a live edge, tried to look a little bit like stone. I'm not too disappointed about it. I'm not too excited. I think it look okay. For the concrete slab, I'm a little bit more excited than I expected. I was able to get some variation of colors, some texture too on it. And I have two slabs, it's a little bit different. I done this one first. And when I realized what I could do, I was a little bit more aggressive when I done on this one. So that is why I have two different slabs. Knowing it's going to be changed at some point with a granite countertop. So I was keep doing some slabs just for my own knowledge, doing more experimentation for maybe a future project and for the fun. So there you go. So just watch this video and I'm going to tell you more about how I made this countertop. So the first test I made, it was actually for the cooktop. It was big disappointment. The color on the top didn't look at all, not even close on what I was looking for. It's technically brown with more dark spot and others. And for the live edge stone, same thing. The picture I saw on the internet, I tried to redo something similar. Didn't really work at all. To me, just ugly. So very disappointed on this one. Then I finally decided to do some testing. So here the idea is to pour some gravel on the bottom, and with the hope at the end I will be able to sand the stone and the cement to give some stone look like finish. So very well, sand gravel is set up on the bottom. Now I'm mixing cement, and I don't know what I done when I'm mixing cement, but I think I mix it a bit too fast. Anyway, here I'm pouring cement on the other half of the my mold to see how that look at the end with this thickness, and then add a little bit more water and come back and put a little bit more liquid cement on this side. All the idea is to see at the end how the finish look like. So that done, what I'm pouring just throwing a little bit some colorant on top, different colors, and just to see how it's going to look like at the end. If I sand it, if it actually gives some more texture to the finish. Yeah, it's done, and just remove the mold. Very easy. I don't put any product inside to make it easier to unmold it. I don't know why people do that, but it's very unnecessary to me. But the same thing. This testing was also a big failure. It could not sand that. It was just not possible to work, and cement as well. Also, it wasn't holding at all. So short on time, I was decided to give up the testing and start to go ahead and making the template to make my mold. So I am using a 1/2 inch plywood and cutting some strips about 3 inch wide. And with that, with this piece of plywood, I'm just do all the 4 corners of my countertop, and also the surrounding of the sink. So the idea is to have a good template I can reuse in my workshop to actually do the final product. So there you go. Here I have one side is technically done. So now for the other side, to transfer technically the wall to on my wood, I'm using kind of washer and a pen and drawing along the plywood and cutting the plywood along these lines, and the plywood just fit perfectly on the wall. So here first I'm taking my melamine and I'm cutting about 1.5 inch wide plus the thickness of my melamine, and I'm going to use that to do the contour of my mold. So first I'm putting my template on my melamine, securing everything, make sure it's not moving, and I'm using my router with a bit equipped with a bearing on it. So the bearing is going to follow the template and technically going to make a perfect replica of my template on my melamine. So now my bottom has been cut. I'm using my little strip of melamine I cut earlier, and screwing all the way around the mold. I'm putting about a screw about 6-8 inches apart, and is more than enough to hold everything. On the video I don't show, but at the end also I'm putting some silicone on the inside to give a little bit of corduroy finish on the mold. Not to have a nice square edge, because square edge can break pretty easy. So I have a little corduroy harp also, but unfortunately I missed to record this part of the process fabrication. So here I'm finishing, adding some screw, doing all corners, and make sure I follow the shape, final shape. So I made for the live edge of my slab, I made of silicone, kind of mold silicone, represent the edge of the stone, and so I'm putting in place here, and I'm connecting the two pieces together, and with some white silicone, I'm just in my finger, just to remove the seam, the connection between the both. I'm putting some silicone to hide it a little bit. So here I'm using the template provided with my sink, and I'm cutting the inside out, and putting on my board and tape it. And then with my belt sander, I just finished to sand the wood properly right to the line, as well as removing any saw mark from the wood. So now the base done, what I have to do is to put it the proper thickness. So it's about 1.5 inch high. So I'm using some wood I found, and just recutting it the proper thickness. So pretty close to be done here. I just have in this corner here the wood that's played out. Gets the router, just pop it off. So I'm just re-gluing it and let it dry. And second, last step now left to do is to actually I'm using mud, drywall mud, to fill up all the gap and any imperfection on the wood. And I just put a light sanding on top of it. So I do that all the way around. And last step after that, we don't see on the video, I'm putting some packing tape around it to make a nice smooth finish. So here I'm going to use a mesh to add in the mold. It's a 1/8 mesh. Put it in place and just like recut it all around. Make sure it fits in the mold, not too tight on the side. And then because around the sink is going to be a little bit weak over there, I'm just adding a little piece of a mesh on both sides, try to make it a little bit stronger. So the cleanup now. So it's very important part of the process is everything left in the mold is going to show on the final product. Is going to reflect on the cement. So again, I didn't show that in the video, unfortunately, but I put some silicone on every corners every time. Yeah, every corners of the mold, either for the sink or on the edge, except where the silicone mold. And so removing all the excess of silicone and to make sure it's all cleaned up properly. Now what I'm doing is I made this kind of bolt holder. I was going to be used to hold the sink into the countertop. So this plywood I'm just screwing up, making everything in place, make sure it's at the perfect spot, and readjusting the height of every single bolt. Okay, it's a big day, so now what I'm doing is I'm putting some colorants on in bottom of the mold, and a different type of colors, just randomly like that. And it's time to pour the cement. So for the concrete, what I'm doing is I'm putting the mixture I bought. I'm adding to the sand mix, and it's supposed to add some strength, make the countertop a little bit more strong. And here I'm randomly putting the concrete on the bottom and leaving space, and every time I come back with more concrete, I'm actually changing the color of the concrete. So every time I come back with different colors, and hopefully we should see a difference of colors from end to end. So I only fill up only half of the mold, and to allow me to set up the mesh, and can also now put the bolt in place and keep filling up the mold all the way to the top. It was kind of hard process, harder than expected to actually go around every bolt and fill it up properly. It was also very hard to see some places if I fill up or not. even to put it level, I have so many boards, so many things. I have to guess it level technically. But at the end, it ended up not too bad. So there you go, we're on next day today. It's just cure all night. So I'm very disappointed. Yesterday I really wanted to get that pour yesterday. Unfortunately, making this mold took me way more time. Just to place the sink took way too long. And and after I have to make this thing about the bolts. I think it went pretty well, but because I rushed so much yesterday, I have an appointment later. I didn't finish. I didn't pour it properly. Some places cement was a little bit too liquid, and I forgot to vibrate it. And that is because I was too much in a rush. And yeah. It was very hard to make a nice flush like this part or this part here. Same thing between the bolt. Hopefully here I just realized I'm a little bit short on cement too. Should be too much a big deal though. I should be able to polish it, grind it a little bit. That is where I screwed up. You can see here a little hole of cement. So yeah, I'm just preparing the bottom of my countertop. So I'm going to silicone or glue technically the sink into the countertop. So I need a nice flush surface. So I'm just removing the biggest part with cement, and then just come back with a sander and just sand it out to make it nice and smooth all the way around. So it's finally time to flip the slab over. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the end result actually. It's pretty close at what I was looking for. A lot of variation of colors and it's kind of dynamic looking. Just again, the only thing is I didn't vibrate the cement enough. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the end result. So now it's time to fix the slab. So first I have to remove all the excess of colorant on the cement. It was a very messy process. I just wish the slab would be outside, and with the garden hose I can just spray it down. But anyway, so slab was clean. Now I was just mixing cement with colorant, just to get some a little bit of liquid cement, kind of just very muddy looking. And here, there you go, I just spread everything around my slab, covering my entire slab with it, and fill up all the little bubbles was not being vibrated properly, fixing it up a little bit. mostly on this slab. This slab wasn't vibrated at all, so there's a lot of places to cover and fill it up. Well, ascending time. So ascending time is always a moment where nobody likes that, but at the same time it's very exciting because you can reveal the final product. So for sanding, I'm not actually using sandpaper. I'm using a special pad made for sanding stone or cement. So the pad goes from grade 50 to grade 3000. I think it's like 5 different pads. So on the video I'm not showing you the 5 different pads I done, only just 2 or 3 of them. And it's kind of a long process, mostly around the sink. And when I done my first slab, I put some water and I tell myself maybe I should never do that again. And for some reason I decided, oh, maybe I should try again and put more water. So is what I done, and I end up again with the same result than the first one with a lot of mud, and it was more annoying than anything else. So please, if you do the same, don't put water. And but yeah, pass after pass, the slab was getting more and more dry, and I ended up by have a nice finish. Here I'm cleaning up, removing all the dust and everything. Make it ready for the final step. So there you go, that is the final step before the installation. Put 3 layers of sealant. The first slab I ever done, it was for my cooktop. I put only 2 layers and I didn't really let it dry in between. Again, I was too rushed out. Between every pass, I just let them dry for like a couple hours and make sure it was actually dry to the touch before adding another layer of sealant. So there you go. I remove the countertop. I move this cabinet back. I give us more room to get in. It's going to be very heavy. So I'm almost ready. The last step I have to do now is because the bolt is going to be so tight over there. Like I didn't even realize it would be that tight on this side. Oh damn, actually it's pretty tight. Anyway, it's going to be that tight. I won't be able to flip the countertop that way. So the only way, if it's going to work, to me anyway, I'm going to put it flat and I'm going to lower it down. Knowing is like over 200 pounds countertop. The way I imagine the thing is I'm going to cut some melamine. I don't know, 3-4 layers, as much as I need, and put a countertop flat on top of it and remove this melamine and to lower it down, slowly the countertop. So I'm going to put a melamine and under the countertop on top, remove melamine, and it's going to go down slowly like that, technically. Okay, there you go. So I have my melamine. Should be just high enough for the bolt to stick out, maybe 1/8 or 1/4 inch above the sink. That's going to allow me to set the countertop in the proper place, double check everything, and start to pull it down. And when I'm sure everything can go through, we put a silicone inside, like around the sink, and drop it up. So there you go, installing the first countertop. So I'm checking all the bolt. I'm removing the 2x6 first and securing all the countertop. Now I'm checking for the bolt and decide to remove one just to see how that goes, but it's touching, so I have to put it back up. And here I'm with a drill, I'm just grinding a little bit where the bolt is touching, and now I can lower down, and it's technically a perfect fit. So before finishing to put it all the way down, I'm just cleaning it up. I added some silicone on the inside and finished to lower down the slab. And it's time to attach the sink to the slab. It was a little bit longer than expected. It's very, very tight on the back. And here I'm just finishing siliconing the corners, just to make it pretty. And there you go, the slab is done. So now it's time to get the last one. It looked very easy like that, but it was over 250 pound slab, so it was very hard to actually move it around. Yeah, I just have to cut a little bit corners. I tried to make the fancy corners, didn't really work out, so I just have to cut it off. And otherwise, it fit pretty good. And last step is just to silicone the where both slabs meet, and job is done. Just before I let you go, a few things I would like to say. Few of you probably are wondering why I didn't pour the cement directly in the kitchen. Why I did that in the garage. It's technically three main reasons for that. The first one is I didn't know how to do the live edge without revealing the the mold, the molding for making the slab. Second one is I'm not that good to make a nice flat surface like that. Making the mold on a laminate upside down and using the laminate as a very flat and smooth surface to make my countertop seems to be, for me, is the best idea. The third reason also is the texture. I wanted to have some texture, we saw mostly on this one, some looking a little bit like a stone with the variation of colors, and I didn't know how it's going to look like at the end of process if I pour directly in the kitchen. And that means I have to do a lot of cleaning and a lot of sanding on the top, as we're making a big mess in the house, and didn't want to do that. And also, if I screw up the countertop, it's easier to make another one in garage than remove the one. Anyway, that is main reason why I decided to make the countertop in garage and move it in. So if you have any comments, any question, don't be afraid to leave a comment. I will do my best to answer it. Also, don't forget to share the video, subscribe, and put a thumbs up. And I will appreciate that. And see you in the next video. Thank you and have a good day.